Bonjour! I have been invited to a convention in Orlando at the end of this December, and that was my excuse to finish my big Chimera project. Also, since I will be traveling to the US, I thought it would be an opportunity to visit other places, like some places I've never seen, like New York City. As you can guess from my love for sparkly costumes, I love Broadway. I've been dreaming about seeing it for since I was a teenager. So I'm happy that I'm gonna see New York for the first time. Side note, I know the US is not in its most awesome era right now, but I have so many comments that says my channel is one of those that make them feel good. Little escape we need sometimes. I also need a lot of those like that. I really try to be positive and make other people, also myself, feel good. Look at the cat. He's better now. Does that help? So I thought I'm gonna talk about the nice things that I'm gonna see there as a French girl going to New York City for the first time. I put on a beret for this, okay? I hope you are all okay. Let's go on a little trip, come on. After spending 200 hours making this monstrous dress, if you haven't followed, I have plenty of videos with all the details, but I have to travel with it, so let's back it up. These are the wings, everything is underneath, and the dress is here, my precious. I have a stop to make first, but in the plane it will be in a plastic bag. The trip has begun. I'm at my parents' apartment in Paris, and tomorrow I'm going on a plane to the US. Also, I just wanted to show you because my dad has taken back some of my costumes that were on rent. They were for rent in a costume shop. So we have my little harlequin with bells here. It has a skirt that I made with scraps of fabric as a quilt, and also a little collar here. There is also my 16th century dress. No, 17th century. It's all boned. It doesn't look like much like that, but I used it in a Rembrandt photo shoot. Maybe I can add it in post. It's really nice. There is also this one, which was inspired by Game of Thrones. I was starting my hand at embroidery, but I only had yarn. It ended up looking very nice. It was for LARP where our emblem was bird. My 18th century pompadour dress with the panier, and there is also this coat. It is almost a recreation of the Daenerys coat in Game of Thrones as well. I was very into Game of Thrones costumes. Still am. But also it has pockets. I am very tempted to take it to New York, but there's no more space in my suitcase. This video is sponsored by Craftsy, an online community of creative people who share their skills and knowledge on a ton of topics. You know, I'm constantly trying new crafts, that's basically my whole channel. Do I need to try more? Yeah! One of my plans this year is to learn crochet, and I am a total beginner. I've learned so much on the classes and resources that are already there, but that's also for every level. Look, this is my first square. I mean, almost perfect. I made this in 3 nights. I want to learn more. One of the things I love most about Craftsy is the variety of classes that are available. There is something for everyone, no matter what your interests are. And it is very detailed if you want to deep dive into a specific technique with classes taught by experienced, award-winning instructors who share their professional techniques step by step that will take your skills to the next level. I've also found some great resources on Craftsy about painting and drawing, which is another thing that I want to get better at in this new year. Overall, I highly recommend Craftsy to anyone who is trying to learn a new skill, get inspired, or connect with other creative people. If you are interested in learning more about Craftsy, the first 1,000 of my subscribers who click the link in the description will get a full year of premium membership for new members to Craftsy for only $1.49. Thanks to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. On my way to the airport. It is very early. My first impression of the United States was waiting an hour and a half through customs. It is so cold in this
this country.
First culture shock, seeing ads in a taxi. And ads for medication? That's illegal in my country. Second thing is the amount of flags everywhere. Maybe that's just close to the airport, so you don't get confused which country you are in. But finally I'm there. I'm in
New York City.
The next day I was on my own, so I just walked around. It is much bigger than I expected. I got my daily 40,000 steps every day. And also it's quite easy to walk around because everything is just a grid. All the streets are very straight. This is very different from France. To find your way you just count blocks, like you are on a checkerboard. Very practical, but it makes a lot of streets looking all the same. But it kind of makes the city even more impressive, how huge everything is. And also I definitely wasn't prepared enough for the cold. So part of my first day was just walking around every thrift shop that I could find to buy a warm coat. So I found this coat in a thrift shop. 100% cashmere. It's a men's coat that is a bit wide, so I'm just going to tuck it up just a little bit. It's so soft. Okay, what do we think? I removed the shoulder pads and I pinched it in the center back. It feels much nicer now. There is just a weird pleat in the back, but I don't have an iron and I can't really cut fabric now, so I'll take care of that at home. Another thing I loved on this first day is the amount of dogs everywhere. And since it was cold, so many of them were wearing little outfits. And since I was on my own that night, I just posted on Patreon if anybody was available. And fortunately someone answered, so I had dinner with Erika. Thank you again for showing me around and the hot chocolate. And the next day, Aliota arrived. This one.
Bonjour! Quelqu'un demandait un marteau?
The day was spent running around with zero plan, only recovering from jet lag. Check out the size of the coffee. It's like a bucket. Absolutely love the contrast between the new and the old buildings. This doesn't seem very safe. I really enjoyed all the artwork that you can find in the streets. Whether serious or not. This guy is pigeon bending. That's so cool.
Ah pardon, ça filme, merde. Je suis passé dans le bon sens. Dans le bon sens?
Allez, la pro là.
I never thought that I would see a view that is clearly from a synthwave album. Not super late, but we had to head up because I have a lot of hand sewing to do every night.
We are in a little French bakery. It's so fun. Look. $10 for a little pastry, of course. But they do have Pepito, BN et des Princes. Mais aussi du foie de morue. This one is my favorite. I knew. I never heard her speak. Yeah.
Attends une seconde. Là, je vois le bouton. Say hi.
Under the expert guidance from Lizard, I finally can see the Fabric District in New York, something I was really excited about. Finally, I'm in mood. As an avid watcher of Project One Way, I was super excited to go there. I was more excited to see this than the Empire State Building. In my opinion, Mood is better than any shop in the Fabric District in Paris, but the Fabric District in Paris as a whole is better than the Fabric District in New York. Sorry. Also, we went to look at cameras because, you know, YouTubers. Ce sera parfait. This was when I was not yet sick of Christmas music. Oh, and on my way back, I stopped by Carrie Bradshaw's apartment. This was very disappointing. So back to sewing, I guess.
Je dispose d'images exclusives qui montreront à ton public ce que tu fais vraiment. Il a les choses, exactement la même chose que tu montres dans tes vidéos en fait.
Wow.
First musical on my list, The Book of Mormon. It was absolutely hilarious and I loved it. And the first walk through the famous Times Square.
I guess it's mostly billboards.
I kind of feel like it's a trick to make you look at ads. I don't know, I didn't get it. I thought looking at people on the subway was much more interesting. And I had some more hand-sewing to do anyways.
Eh, dis, est-ce que...
More ads, but with a nice Christmas tree.
On va aller prendre un café chez Dunkin' Donuts. On va se café.
Also, the New York Library had some very nice textile exhibitions and free exhibitions. And in my opinion, the best Christmas tree I've ever seen. We are in the middle of the holiday season, so there is just decorations everywhere, but this one, 5 stars. But I have to go back and do some hand sewing again. We went to see Drag, the musical, and I think this was my favorite show I saw in New York. Qu'est-ce que tu manges?
Alors, je mange un croissant au kouign-amann.
C'est pas interdit ça?
And this is a donut croissant, which might also be a crime somewhere. I don't know.
This was the only thing that was very good in my whole trip. I'm sorry, I have to say it. The food is so bad in the US. I have to say it. I'm sorry. We went to see the Museum of Broadway. One of us is a dancer and the other is me. I have been a fan of musicals forever, and seeing all those costumes in real life, it's so cool! In fact, when I saw the movie The Producers when I was a teenager, I decided I'm gonna be a Broadway producer when I grow up. Well, that didn't happen. I guess making my own YouTube videos is not that far. It's just one person on stage, and directing, and editing. This museum was a treasure for someone like me who's very interested in what's happening backstage.
C'est moi ça.
It's so cool to have this place available to the public. But funny thing, before coming here, I was contacted by someone special working nearby. Come on, let's go somewhere secret.
So we are on the backstage of the Gypsy musical, which is in the Majestic Theatre, and we are here secretly today with costume manager Matsuri.
So, please introduce yourself.
My name is Melissa Joy Crawford, and I'm the wardrobe supervisor at Gypsy.
a secret laundry room where they wash all the costumes and take care of the 30 actors. We just had a little tour of the backstage now because they are in rehearsal and it's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Very emotional.
I'm glad you could come.
Yeah.
You should come see the show. It's got Audra McDonald and Danny Bernstein, and it's really, really good. People cry because it's beautiful and it's gypsy. Thanks.
And it comes out on the
We open on the December 19th
December 19th in the Majestic Theatre.
in the Majestic Theater.
And how did you get that kind of job?
Oh yeah.
What is your career before that?
Oh yeah.
If that's okay.
No, of course. When I was a child, I went and saw Star Wars and knew that was what I wanted to do. I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to.
I have food deliveries at the stage door for Corey and for Kevin.
We tend to eat at the theater. Started sewing at like age 7, and then I proceeded to do it in high school, and I went to college for it. And then I was a dresser, which is, the people who take on and off the clothes really fast. Then I did a lot of sewing and prep work and laundry. And then there was one day I was at a job and I had this moment where I had this one supervisor and I'm like, if this person can do that, I can do it. So I applied for the Pee Wee Herman show, and that's when I started supervising in 2010.
And you specialize in
In costume, I did in costume technology. It's a BFA, a Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Okay.
So what I did to start my journey in theater was I worked off-Broadway in a lot of tiny theaters. And back when I started, it was the 1990s, and so you would send your resume via paper. Yeah. I always tell people who are new, go make your bones somewhere, like an off-Broadway show or, a regional show. Build a portfolio, build up a resume. I mean, I have been doing this for a long time and I love it. That being said, it is still a job and it is exhausting. I've been putting in at least 12 to 13 hours a day, but that's because we're in production right now. It gets a little easier once we open. I do this show lasts for a long time. So that's why you should all come see it.
Come to see the show.
One of the fun facts is that so many of our costumes have big zippers at the back so they can get in and out of quickly. Yeah. But also, another fun fact about our costumes, this one does not have it, is we put a thing in there called dress shields or pit pads to help with the sweating. You just want to hold that.
Of course, yes. I'm coming away with it.
At one point, I was doing YouTube tutorials during quarantine. Yeah.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel?
I do.
Yeah, she has a YouTube channel. Subscribe.
It's
Yeah. At the bottom.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
You have an actual job. You're not like a clown on the internet like me.
No, you're not a clown. I enjoy your content. During quarantine, because Broadway shut down for 18 months, and trying to figure out something to do, I was like, well, I want people to know how to make things, so I did some tutorials.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for showing us the secrets of a world I've always wanted to see. And I guess go see Gypsy at the Majestic Theatre on Broadway. Finishing up the jacket of the dress right here. This is the only proof I have that I made pockets in this dress. So I forgot to put it in the previous video, but now you know. Taking the subway to go see another musical. Guess which one? There is a very small clue in this very awkward shot where I forgot I was filming and not taking a picture. But funny story, the day before when we were visiting the backstage of the Majestic Theatre, I received a message on the Instagram of someone working in another theater. So guess what? We're gonna see more Broadway secrets. Did I say that I love Broadway? And how exciting it is to see how people work on those shows? I am on the moon right now. Welcome! We are in the backstage of the Jacobs Theatre.
Hi, I'm Sebastian. I do the special effects.
We are going to see the costume department. There's fire, there is rain, there's a very exciting play. I always get a lot of questions about film viewers who want to go into theatre, who are very interested in getting into this kind of stuff. So I always ask people how they got there and...
Myself getting into theater, it's a bit of a family business. My father also, well, he works at the opera, but works in theater. Honestly, one of the easiest ways to get into theater is if you're in the US or certain EU countries, find your local union hall, sign up for the list, and they'll call you eventually. Go around, give your number, your email, show up, and be competent and polite. And quick.
C'est bien. C'est bon. Oui. On peut arrêter. Of course.
Is legitimately the hardest track on this show. Everybody else has it pretty easy. She has to get blood out of costumes, soot out of costumes.
There's blood on the costumes?
Yeah, so in the fights, they've got little blood packs around the stage where they can grab a little blood and kind of smear it on, but it gets all in the costumes too. And then there is one stabbing scene that has a blood pack under the costume, so they stab through and big blood pack bursts, and it gets on that actor, obviously, and then also usually gets on the actor who has the knife, and sometimes gets on the people in the first row. So these are all the costumes for the swings.
Oh, so they're playing live.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh. Yeah, Broadway has to have a live orchestra. It's union contract. So you can see they have all these little monitors here so they can see the conductor. So the conductor is in the other part of the pit, but there's a camera pointing right at him. So they have conductor monitors at each stand. And then they have a stage monitor here so they can see what's going on under the front of the stage. So that wall
the
there,
stage is right there on top of us.
Right there. And then that wall right there, that's the wall you see in front of the seats.
Ah.
So just in front of the first row. So you've got our drum room over here. He has to be enclosed in a room. Some guitars, some bass, and some pianos. Did you already have some leaking rain problem here, or is it okay? No,
since there is the roofer.
I think this is probably the first time someone's done that for a rain show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be recommending that every time in the future. Anytime we have a rain show, I'll just be like, no holes in the stage, hire roofers.
This is the rain? Oh, yeah. So the rain is heated?
Yeah, so it has to be heated since it's falling on the people.
Oh.
Actually, a relatively small cable show, too. This is Cool Box Luke. He holds our air compressor for some of our automation.
So this one works.
It moves.
It moves. I can see this one is blank.
It comes to here.
Good.
And this is where our stage managers call the show.
The right place for the white object. And like, do you
have one or two stitchers usually? Probably one now that the show is really in the swing of things. And she'll come in most days and fix whatever needs fixing or add labels to new costumes as we get new.
Remove excess blood from the ones that did come out in the wash.
Exactly. And and then back here is hair and makeup.
Ooh.
So a lot of the actors have wigs. A couple of them have multiple wigs too. Okay. Two of the ensemble ladies have their lady wigs, and then somewhere in there are some of they also play male roles, so they have male wigs.
We went for some drinks with them and had a very nice night.
Pizza, gyoza, repas, gyoza, pizza. Ce n'est pas la même chose.
Dans le Jacobs Theatre. Parfait.
Last day in New York was spent at the flea market, Check out how much I'm blending it with the coffee in my hand. That's not something you do in France.
You might hear angels cheer because we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day. You just say the words and we'll feed those birds down to Acapulco Bay. Well, it's perfect for flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly, let's fly. Back up, let's fly away.
We have arrived in Florida, and of course, I lost my luggage with the dress.
Non, ça va. Un petit sanglot?
Baguette. On the last day before the convention, I visited Joann's store, and I don't like it, it's too expensive. Medium size. Went to stores to learn more about the culture.
C'est moi.
This is a bit offensive, I'm not gonna lie.
C'est ça qu'ils mangent les Américains?
Target haul! Tiny marshmallows to put in my winter coffee. This makeup because mine expired 3 years ago and this one is like 5 times the price in France. A pickle Christmas ornament. This influencer headband that was $2 on clearance. Strange spices that seem interesting. This thing that I've only seen in movies and it's pumpkin pie, so I don't have much hope that it's gonna be good, but it's fun. And a Twilight t-shirt. Ta-da! 35 bucks.
Fais au moins le majeur, comme ça tu pourras faire des fucks.
Maybe you've seen that in my previous video, but finally I could go around at the convention with my finished dress. This has been so much work. You can check out the other videos because these scales were sent by 300 different people from around the world, and it is my biggest project ever. Also, in terms of costume, the heaviest.
Bienvenue en Floride. Genre le sapin.
We had a gingerbread building party. I've never done that before. So mine broke, but I made it work in the end. This is mine. It's the house from Oz, and it fell onto the witch here. So I am currently waiting. Sorry for my face. I am currently waiting for the show Hottest Man in Anime. And it was amazing. The second day I spent teaching classes. This was my first time, and I think it went okay. The second class was about fabric, and I wanted volunteers to add more skill to the dress on the spot. Please admire my favorite costume at the convention.
Go ahead, look gorgeous.
Look at her.
Perfect. Wow.
You need to experience the original material.
Amazing. Take a pose.
Okay, this one is my other favorite.
Perfect. You're so sweet.
Costume contest was so much fun. Chilling with the Queen, of course. And at night I went to a public reading of bad fanfiction.
Also, since this is the 18+ panel, come on stage and act it out as it is read, typos and all.
And the last day was just chilling and shopping.
How's it going?
Celle-ci, je les trouve les plus. Look at the earrings that Alietta bought me. Merci, elles sont trop bien, j'adore.
But the convention is over. I just have one more day to enjoy the place. I went to Disney Spring with some lovely people for Patreon. I didn't buy anything, but there were some very sexy Legos. Anyways, even though I'm not happy to leave the warm weather of Florida, I really want to go home to my house and see the cat that is not mine and good food. But I really had an amazing time on this trip, especially because of the people I met there and the Broadway shows. Please subscribe.